How do the cars from the movie Cars die? What happens to them after they die? You guys asked me a lot to make this video. There were so many comments here on the channel. You asked for it, so here it is. Get ready because today we're diving into another wild theory. Let's go! Welcome to Cine lovers. So, how do cars die? They're machines. Well, several characters from the Cars franchise have already died, so it's clear that cars can die. This video is mostly theory, but many parts are officially confirmed by the Cars productions. There are moments in the films and series where it's shown how certain cars died. I'll mention some characters who died and even had scenes showing their deaths, like Redline from Cars 2, Leland from Cars 2, Mater in Cars on the Road, and even a graveyard full of dead cars. You can see that and other deleted scenes from Cars 1 in this card. Click it later. Besides that, in the Cars on the Road series, we see several ghosts. So, when a car dies, it doesn't just disappear, it goes to another plane. Actually, the Cars on the Road series expands the Cars universe a lot, showing ghosts, hauntings, monster trucks, a circus in the Cars world, the speed demon itself, and so many other things. It's really cool. But how do cars die? Cars can die from being crushed, tortured, in accidents, from high speeds, being smashed, drowned, and more. Let's start with Agent Leland from Cars 2. This guy was killed by Professor Z and the Lemons at the very beginning of the movie. He worked with Finn McMissile. There's even a deleted scene showing how Leland died. He was captured, crushed, his tires punctured, his parts broken, and finally shredded. These scenes of cars dying are really heavy. It's a good thing most were deleted from the movies. For more details about this scene, click the card where I made a full video. In Cars on the Road, which premiered in 2022 on Disney+, there's an episode where Mater gets a new gadget that makes him super fast, faster than Lightning McQueen. But the speed was so extreme that Mater ends up dying. He's then greeted by the speed demon, who many thought was a legend, but it turns out to be real. The speed demon talks to Mater, who realizes he died that way and feels pretty upset. So, besides being tortured or crushed, cars can also die from excessive speed. And besides that, it shows that there are angels, demons, and all these entities in the Cars world. Could there be a car god? It would be crazy to see that, don't you think? Comment below how much you like cars. A little, normal, or a lot. Then, Mater distracts the speed demon, goes back to his body, opens the door, and gets inside. This scene was incredible. He opened the door, something I don't think had ever been shown in the Cars universe before. He got in and came back to life. And I know you thought the same thing as me at this point. I'm sure you really wanted to see what's inside the cars, right? And what if I told you there are people? Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But click on this card later to understand all of this and more. I believe there's a higher plane for cars that die. If they die from speed, they meet the speed demon. If it's by other means, they're likely greeted by other cars, angel cars. After all, in the Cars on the Road series, we see ghost cars that have already died and still appear. Plus, in one of the Cars shorts, we see the spirit of Stanley, the founder of Radiator Springs. And this isn't some hallucination from Mater or McQueen. This is real, confirming the presence of car spirits, which makes things even crazier. I don't think any production involving talking machines has ever tackled this topic, like Thomas the Tank Engine or Handy Manny. Who remembers that show? We never stop to think about what happens when they die because it doesn't even cross our minds that they can die. But if they're alive, they can die. So even though cars are machines, when they die, they don't just disappear, they go to another plane. I've got tons of videos about cars here on the channel, so make sure to marathon the playlist later. The next character who also died was Redline. He was a secret agent too and worked alongside Finn McMissile. His standout scene is the one in the bathroom where he enters undercover and fights two cars. But later, later, he's kidnapped, tortured, and killed in a pretty intense scene. However, this scene was initially meant to be much darker, but it was deleted from the movie. In this deleted scene from Cars 2, Redline is undercover, badly beaten, and trying to escape from the villains. They eventually find him and beat him up even more. Thank goodness this scene was deleted. After that, he escapes again and ends up in water, probably a stream or river. Then, he gets out of the water and encounters a very famous character from the Cars movie. To find out who that car is and see the full scene with more details, click on this card later. I made a great video about the deleted scenes from Cars 2. Anyway, Rod comes out of the water, starts talking, gets tired, weakens, and drowns. He drowned and died. Such a tense scene. In addition to Cars dying by drowning, being tortured, crushed, shredded, in accidents, or at high speeds, as we've just seen with characters who unfortunately died in scenes from the Cars movies and series, there are also other cars that died without us knowing the exact cause, but it was likely similar to the others. These cars appear in a Cars cemetery. Yes, there's a cemetery, and it appears in a deleted scene from Cars 1, where McQueen gets separated from Mac and ends up in the Cars cemetery. There, we see broken down cars hanging, smashed, and destroyed. For more details on this scene, I made an awesome video. Click on this card later to check it out. This deleted scene was reused in one of the Cars shorts. In it, we see shattered mirrors, car doors on the ground, tires, wheels, and lots of scattered gas bottles. A creepy sight, along with broken and lifeless cars. So, besides it being possible for a car to die, they also have a cemetery. It's crazy when you stop to think that they can actually die, right? Imagine our beloved McQueen dying. How sad would that be? It's not clear if cars can die of old age. Lizzie is already pretty old, trembling, and even a bit forgetful, but we don't know for sure if cars can die of old age. To recap, cars can die by being shredded, tortured, in accidents, at high speeds, crushed, drowned, or in ways we don't yet know, like the cars in the cemetery or Doc Hudson. He died, but there's no scene showing how it happened, unlike Leland and Redline. Since we're talking about cars, I've made more theories about this amazing movie. As I mentioned before, there's a playlist here on the channel full of Cars videos. Click on the card and binge watch them all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video here on Cine Lovers.